We've all been there. Someone's wrong on the internet, or at least from your perspective. You type out a response. Perfectly reasoned, maybe a little sarcastic, but fair. You hit send. And then it begins. A storm of replies. Maybe you're insulted. Maybe you're dismissed. Or worse, you're ignored. Welcome to the bottomless pit of online arguments. A space where logic goes to die, tempers flare, and nobody really wins. So, why is arguing online so useless? At first glance, an online argument looks like a debate. Two sides presenting evidence or opinions, defending ideas. But it's not really a debate. A real debate has rules and moderators. Online arguments, they usually have none of that. Most people jump in, already convinced they are right. And they aren't looking for truth, they are looking to win. Which brings us to the ego trip. Psychologically, being challenged online feels threatening. Studies in neuroscience show that when our beliefs are questioned, especially in public, it triggers the same areas of the brain as physical pain. And so, instead of analyzing opposing viewpoints, we double down. We defend not the truth, but our identity. Because if you believe X, and I believe Y, and if X is right, then what does that say about me? It becomes personal. Add anonymity to the mix, and it gets worse. When we can't see each other's faces, when usernames are fake and tone is invisible, empathy takes a back seat. It's easier to be cruel, to assume the worst, to insult rather than understand. That's why debates on Twitter feel like gladiator matches. You're not trying to converse. You're trying to destroy. And often, the loudest, meanest voices gain the most attention, not because they're right, but because they're aggressive. But the biggest enabler of all? Algorithms. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, they're designed to maximize engagement. And what's more engaging than a fight? Outrage spreads faster than facts. Emotional posts outperform rational ones. And polarizing arguments keep us scrolling and arguing. The platforms don't care who's right. They care who's active. So they feed us more of what keeps us typing. Studies in behavioral psychology show that people almost never change their minds from public arguments. In fact, the opposite happens. The backfire effect describes how people become more entrenched in their beliefs when presented with opposing facts. So when you're correcting someone on Twitter or Reddit with a long thread of stats and sources, there's a good chance it's not working. Not because your facts are bad, but because humans don't process facts in neutral ways. Especially not when they're feeling attacked or judged. Over time, the internet tends to isolate us into echo chambers. We follow people who think like us. The algorithm shows us posts we agree with. So when we finally do see an opposing view, it feels not just wrong, but alien. And that increases hostility. We stop seeing each other as people, and more like enemies to be defeated. Okay, it's not all bad. Occasionally, a thoughtful thread, a kind reply, a well-worded argument can shift someone's perspective, especially if it's in private, respectful, and non-confrontational. So, if arguing online doesn't work, what can we do? Stop replying to provoke. Ask yourself if you're helping or just venting. Ask questions. Invite people to explain. Use private messages for real conversations. Public comment sections are war zones. If you do argue, speak not to your opponent, but to the audience who might be undecided. And most importantly, know when to walk away. Silence isn't weakness. Sometimes, it's wisdom. Arguing online feels good, but it is rarely of any use. It drains your energy, traps you in echo chambers, And worst of all, it gives you the illusion of productivity, when in truth, nothing really changes. The internet is not built for understanding, but you can be the one with common sense. So the next time someone's wrong online, maybe just log off.